Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Jay. I just wanted to make a quick video on what I see going on in the southern border, the Texas-Mexico border, the Rio Grande border, with regards to Haitian migrants. A lot of these Haitian um, migrants are coming over because of what happened with Hurricane Ida, and also because of the destabilization of their country by the United States government that sent in ops in the middle of the night to murder Javenel Moise way back in July. And that this, I said at the time that this was due to the fact that the United States wants to regain a foothold in the world of Haiti, in the country of Haiti, because the United States has always kind of looked at Haiti like their backyard. They've always wanted to and delighted in destabilizing um, Haiti. You know what I mean? So, what the pictures that we saw on the southern border was border patrolmen whipping, having literal whips on the horses, literally whipping the backs of Haitian men and women. The optics, of course, would remind us of slavery, would remind us of how people in the state of Texas were treated during the time of slavery. You have a guy on a horse, and you have people whipping them like actual slaves. So the optics for the United States government was not good at this time. But people are saying, well, why don't they stay in their own country? Why do they have to come here? Why do they always upset us? Well, why did the United States have to send special Marine ops to their country to destabilize their country, to kill their leader in the middle of the night? The guy who assassinated Jovenel Moise in July, he came from Miami. The people that did it were Dominican Spanish speaking and American English speaking. So obviously, both the Dominican Republic and the United States are both invested in the destabilization of Haiti, and neither one of those countries would ever want to accept Haitian migrants. There's a history of discrimination in the Dominican Republic with regards to Haitians, and we know that there is a history of discrimination discrimination in the United States, not just against Haitians but against anybody black. But even in DR in the 1930s, Parsley massacre under Rafael Trujillo, he literally killed, literally massacred, just like Hitler did the Jews, and he was an ally of Hitler. The way that Hitler did the Jews and the Gypsies and signaled them out was the exact same way Rafael Trujillo did in the 1930s. And of course, the United States supported Rafael Trujillo. And one thing that a woman on my page brought to my attention, and it's very true, is remember back in 2015 when France was bombed, when Paris was bombed, both in the newspaper shooting and later on that same year, the bombing, and everybody put up their French flags, and everybody said, yeah, we're going to support France after they've been bombed by ISIS. Well, why don't I see that kind of support? Why don't I see that kind of energy? And I said it at the time, but she just reminded me. now that this is going on? Why don't I see that kind of energy when it comes to the refugees from Haiti, the victims of French colonialism, the ones who were enslaved by the French, who themselves, after gaining freedom from slavery in 1804, had to pay reparations back to France. Not the French have to pay reparations back to the Haitian government for owning them and for taking over their land. No, not that. The Haitian government that was newly independent and newly free had to pay the French government reparations back. After they successfully defeated the French not once but twice under Jean-Jacques Dessalines and before that under Toussaint Louverture, when Toussaint Louverture was was supposedly, or he thought, embodying the ideals of the French Revolution, embodying the Republican and libertarian ideals that the French revolutionaries and the American revolutionaries that were in lockstep with the French were supposed to embody. He he was a recipient of Western education. He was an acolyte of Western liberalism, the Enlightenment, and everything. And when he sought the help of the French, what did they try to do? They tried to recolonize the island. And Jean Jacques Dessalines then had to fight off the French again. And the French made the Haitian people pay reparations for property lost. And that's one of the reasons, other than being blacklisted by every single superpower at the time, including France. I mean, not just France, but including the United States. Britain, of course, didn't want to recognize Haiti as a republic because then the Jamaicans and other West Indians would want freedom from slavery at that time. Spain didn't want to do it because was Spain was making a lot of money off of Cuba and other sugar islands, and the United States, of course, was a slave republic as well. Lisa says they're saying why they're bringing the Haitians to come over here. Well, why are they bringing the people from Afghanistan here? I don't think, Lisa, that it is wise to play one immigrant group off another immigrant group. Obviously, the United States has done a lot of things in their foreign policy to skew um, a lot of different countries and dissuade a lot of different countries. But Haiti is an interesting thing because people will say, people will bring up, well, they don't want the people from Afghanistan, or they don't want refugees from Afghanistan. At least the right doesn't, because they have a different religion, they have a different society, they have a different culture. But Haitian people don't have a different culture. Haiti is a Judeo Christian society. Haiti, the revolutionaries in Haiti embody revolutionary spirit, or supposedly of that of France, of that of the United States. So saying that, okay, well, they said, well, it's not a racial issue, it's a cultural, right? We don't want the Afghans here because of culture, because they have a different Muslim culture, and we don't want the religion or the culture to change. We don't want demographic shift. Well, the Haitians don't have a demographic shift. The Haitians, if anything, they embody the same Western culture, the same Catholic culture, the same Western culture, supposedly that these conservatives, these supposed non-racist conservatives, they say well, it's all about culture, it's not about color. Well, put your money where your mouth is then. If you say it's all about culture and not about color, then you should want to accept these Haitians in that have the culture that you have. If you say it's all about Christianity, well, the Haitians are 95% Christian, right? You know, or is it that they don't have the same skin tone as you? If it's that, then you can't, you conservatives, you can't run around here claiming that you're not racist. You can't run around here claiming that it's not a true issue. A color issue. That it's only culture, not color. Well, it's not color then. It can't be culture because Haitian people share in the culture that you claim to embody, the Judeo Christian culture that you claim to love and you claim to represent. See, this is what gets to me. It's like you're so quick. People are on the right are so quick to use that battering ram of the Judeo Christian culture over people's head. But when a Judeo Christian person from a Judeo Christian civilization comes here that doesn't meet up to your standards, that doesn't share your skin tone, then it's not about Judeo Christianity anymore. It's about something completely different. So the hypocrisy of a lot of Christian conservatives on this Haitian issue is astounding because on the one hand, you talk about wanting to preserve your culture, wanting to preserve your religion, right? You talk everything is religion, nothing is culture, everything is just religion. Well, it can't be about religion then. Because say, well, what about the Haitians? Oh, no, we don't want the Haitians here. Haitians, no. Meanwhile, the United States, in the name of democracy, in the name of freedom, in the name of liberty, invaded Haiti and took out their leader. Now you've destabilized the country. Besides natural disasters, you've destabilized the country as you did when you took out Jean Bertrand Aristide, and now you don't want to deal with the ramifications of that by taking the people in. And you say, well, we've got enough people here. We don't need any more immigrants. Okay. You know how I can prove that that's a hypocritical statement? How I can prove that that's wrong, that that's not true? If tomorrow something happened in Sweden, something happened in Denmark, something happened in England, something happened in Scotland, tomorrow the United States would be prepared to accept millions upon millions of Scottish, Irish, Norwegian, Swedish people into their borders, despite the fact that they say, oh, well, we'll fill the capacity. We can't accept any more immigrants. But you're ready to take in these white immigrants, though. So it's not a culture issue, it's a color issue. And a lot of these conservatives, they don't want to admit that it is a color issue because they want to use They want to use the black vote. They want to try to get the black vote over to their side. People like Candace Owens, people like Larry Elder, the Brexit people. They want to try to get the black people to say, well, see, it's not, we're not racist. We don't care about culture. We only care about color. I mean, we don't care about color. We only care about culture. But you don't care about culture because, again, Haitians share in the Western civilization, the Western Judeo-Christian civilization that the conservatives claim to love and embody. So it can't be that. In the end, it just comes down to a racial issue. Peace. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you, Lisa, for contributing. Love